Hello, this is Gabby. I just wanted to make this video for future children in my life, whether they be my own or they be adopted, whether, in a legal sense or in a spiritual sense. And I just wanted to make this because it's important to me that one day when I become a mother, it's something that I've wanted to accomplish since I was young. As you may know, I didn't have a great relationship with my mom. We're working on that. More me than her. I'm working on forgiveness, which is a great thing to have. And I'm also working on, my father, you may hear snoring, forgiveness for him as well because of past situations. And I apologize for stuttering, and I'm a little slower in my speech than I am. I'm coming off of anesthesia, and I just wanted to make this video while this is fresh in my heart, whether I'm a stuttering, bumbling fool or not. First, I just wanted to make a promise to my husband, whom I have an obligation to with children, and that is that you will always come first, behind Jesus, of course. And the first verse that I wanted to share that kind of drives this home for me is 1 Peter 3. And he says that if you're a wife, you must put your husband first. And that is even if he opposes our message, which you don't. You will win him over by what you do. No one else will have anything to say to him, because he will see how you honor God and live a pure life. I don't need to explain this to you, but I will to anybody that's viewing this, whether that be our children or someone on YouTube. My husband comes first. He's the man who's sticking with me through this. Children are very important, but I'm not going to be number one in their lives. Jesus is number one, and then their spouse, and that's just how these things work. And I apologize for that brief pause. I just had to check on my father. He is going to MD Anderson right now for cancer research, or not cancer research. He's having his cancer checked on and all that. And he made a little noise. I wanted to check on it. Really apologize. Anyway, but this is my husband who comes first to me, and that's because just like the bride comes first to Jesus, or the church comes first to God, or whichever way you need to hear that. My obligation is to my husband, and that is because he's with me through thick and thin. He's made vows to be with me through thick and thin. My children are a blessing to me, and they're very important, even now when I don't have them, but they aren't first. And the reason is because they won't always be there. And why should they be? They're going to have families and lives of their own, and I hope as their mother I'm important to them, but I'm not their life. God is their life, and if God has them move to somewhere crazy that they're needed, or God has them do this or that or whatever it is, their obligation is to Him first, then their spouse. And then I fall somewhere in with the children, or maybe even after, I don't know. But I just wanted to point that out to whomever may be asking, and as well as my husband, that, he is the most important. Sometimes they may get my attention, because they're little and they need food, they can't do things on their own, but my obligation to the relationship side of that is first to Him, and then to my kids, and of course Jesus is always first. And so I apologize if you're a child watching this, if you're my child, if you're someone else's child, and you're like, well, why does it seem like my mom always sides with my dad, or always wants to do what my dad's doing, or, why is it all about my dad, or why is it, otherwise, why is it always about my mom? And that is because that's how marriage and how the family is set up. And you've got your father, your mother, and then the kids. And I know that, this makes it seem as though he's above me, but as in terms of the structure of the household, that's how it is. But that doesn't mean that I'm below him in a sense of like, I'm lesser of a human, I'm lesser of a person. I'm not. It's just men have been created to be the head of the household, and that's just how that is. But of course, I love the saying that men are the head, but women are the neck. So in other words, if you don't understand this, if a man wants to look this way, but a wife wants to look that way, he's going to look that way, because the neck does the turning, the direction, and all that. But and that's just a joke. But it is true. A lot of men seek counsel with their wives, and you can see that in presidents, you can see that in pastors. Anywhere that there's someone in power, they do need that strong woman figure, because sometimes we see things from a different point of view than men do. And so my obligation is first to you, Max, and then to my children. And the one thing that I want as a mother, and that would break my heart if I didn't have, is your salvation. I'm going to pull up another verse for that, which is Isaiah 45:8. I can find my mouse. And that I'm going to read is, shower, O heavens, from above, and let the clouds rain down for righteousness. Let the earth open, that salvation and righteousness may bear fruit. Let the earth cause them both to sprout. I, the Lord, have created it. So I have not created the earth. I maybe one day will create a human, maybe multiples, and my hope is that they would find that Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. I mean, he's everything. I'm going to take my glasses off so you can see my face. I just needed it because I'm blind and I can't read. But God is, excuse me, the number one thing that should be in your life is my child. And I don't care if you're a professional athlete, I don't care if you're a scholar, I don't care if you go to the best college, I don't care, what it is that you do with your life, anywhere from, I can't even think, obviously everybody has dreams and plans for their children, and I do too, but the only thing that I need for my children, the only thing that would make me feel accomplished as a mother is that my sons and my daughters would grow up to be men and women of God. I have seen a lot of people that they have a really strong faith as a parent, and their children are just completely just awesome. Like, not in like, oh yeah, you're awesome, dude, like the amount of faith that these people have because their mom and dad instilled in them Christ, be like Christ, seek Christ, and then eventually it got in their head that Jesus is the number one in my life, and I need to be in a relationship with him to be a person that can succeed in this world. And I know that when I say succeed in this world, that doesn't mean get money, get successful. You're succeeding for God, not for yourself. And so, you're going to have hardships, you're going to have financial burdens, you're going to have this, you're going to have that, but the only thing that you will have, and no one can take from you, is your joy and your faith. Because you could be living on the side of the road, but you still have faith that God will bring you out of that, and you still have joy because he has died for you. And so this is why this is so important, and why I kind of wanted to make this video. So as you know, hopefully, Jesus died on the cross, and he was absolutely perfect, right? If you don't know that, please read the Gospels, any four of them, which would be Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. You can read pretty much anywhere in the New Testament to hear of Jesus. Acts discusses Jesus a little in depth. All throughout the New Testament it discusses Jesus, and excuse me, I'm just listening for my father as well. But I also encourage you to read some of the Old Testament, maybe the verse that I shared, maybe Genesis, to find out the structure of the family. Just get into your word and learn a little bit more about this. Even if you aren't a Christian, open it up and look and see what it is that we as Christians believe, and see if that is something that you feel correlates in your life. And if you open your mind to the word, God will be revealed to you. You have to seek first the kingdom of God. But my point being is, Jesus gave the ultimate sacrifice. Jesus died on the cross. Perfect. He was absolutely perfect. Did nothing at all wrong. I know you've heard this 1,000 times, and that's true, but what I wanted to point out, and I know this might be a little self-centered, and I really hope that it isn't, because I mean well when I say this. Today I gave a very, 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 very tiny, minuscule sacrifice in comparison to what God did. And all that was is just showing my very productive system to someone to make sure that I can be a mother. But I could have been selfish and said, well, I don't care about these kids. I don't care about if everything's perfect. They'll just have to fend for themselves, but it's important to me to be as healthy as I can. For when I do have children, I want them to have the best opportunity inside of me and inside of this world. I don't know if y'all heard that, but I'm probably going to edit that one out. Anyway, inside of this world. And the reason being is just because I want to give everything that I can to be a mother, because I feel as though if I want to be a proud, necessary woman, then I need to be, everything that God has called me to be as a woman. And when I was going under my surgery, I just kept reminding myself that this sacrifice that I'm giving for my children is nothing in comparison to the sacrifice that he's given for his children. And if you're saying, well, I don't have parents, I can't have kids, you're an orphan, or you've lost your family, but you still have family, you have God. You have the absolute perfect father in the world. And I know that seems kind of like distant to you if you're not a Christian, but you do, and you were made in his likeness and image. Go ahead and read Genesis when it discusses when he created man and he created woman. You were created perfect, and sorry, like I said, I'm a little sick. the angels rebelled, and some of the angels rebelled because they saw how much God loved you specifically, and us as an entire, species, if you will. And, they were upset. They were like, well, these humans sinned against you, and you still love them? How is this even possible? And they just keep getting even more and more and more and more mad. And that's why we have these things that are called sin. And I don't want to go into that as in depth as I'd like, but I just want to say that you are under this spiritual warfare because of what our ancestor Adam and Eve did. But God, Jesus Christ, died on a cross, rose again for you, and he didn't have to do that. He could have just been like, I might have been today. I don't care about these kids. They're going to find their way however they're going to find their way. But he didn't do that because he loved them. And I like to use that as my example because right now you are not I don't know you. God knows us. God knew who I was before I even was anything. Probably even before my lineage had begun here. He knew who I was, and he thought of me when he died on that cross, and he thinks of you when he dies on that cross. All your sins just melt away with him, and you just have to thank him and ask for that forgiveness. But I want to make this video come to a close just because I don't want to keep you listening to me all day. I just wanted to say that if you're my child, please read your word. Seek God first, and I pray that as your mother, even if you don't, you know that I did everything that I could do to make you a Christian. And not make you, force you, but to show you God's love, God's mercy. When you look at me, I want you to say, my mother loves Jesus. And then if you aren't, I want you to look at me and say, well, that lady loves Jesus. Because that's most important to me. I don't care if you shoot me in the face and kill me. I want you to say, she loves Jesus. Because I do. I don't want to get silent on my video and start crying, but when I just think of this, I don't know if you can see the look on my face, it's baffling. Even the simple things that I can think of blow my mind, and there's endless amounts of things that I don't even know. And I won't probably spend my entire lifetime learning. So will you, if you are in heaven with me. And Jesus, and all of those who have given their lives over to Jesus Christ. And once again, I just thank you so much for watching my videos. I thank you so much for caring about what I have to say. And I pray that it would be a blessing to you, the words that have come out of my mouth. More importantly, the words that I've read from the Bible, because that's what matters. God matters, not my opinion. But I just thank you so much that you care what I have to say, and hopefully what God has said through me. I feel this is something that he laid on my heart for a reason, and he's had on my heart to write letters to my future children by name, and regardless of whether I'm a mother to my own children or I'm a mother to someone else's, it's an amazing thing that one day I will be, and I know that. But I just pray that if you don't have family, that you seek Jesus, because he's the only family you need. And it's just truly a blessing that anyone would care about what I have to say. It's truly a blessing that anyone would care how I feel about these sorts of things. And it's more important to me that God feels, hey, Gabby's a vessel that people can listen to and hear me. And I pray that I plant a seed in you, makes you seek Jesus. I thank you all so much for watching my video, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just so happy that even one person would care what I have to say. And if you have any prayer, you need to be blessed, reach out to a Christian, reach out to your pastor, reach out to someone around you. Thank you all so much. I love you, and God bless you.